Alright guys, so I've had quite a few comments asking me, when I'm doing Hammer of the Ancients, how do I keep my Fury bar completely filled? How come it virtually never moves and stuff? So I figured I'm at a roadblock for making builds at the moment, so I decided I'm going to make a video that's about how you maintain Fury in Hammer of the Ancients, and also it'll apply to pretty much any build. I plan on making a video, if people like this one, about each build for barbarians and other classes and stuff probably, about how you maintain as much resource as possible. If you guys enjoyed the video too, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that generic YouTube shit. I'm trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the year, 1,000 YouTube subs. So any one sub is greatly appreciated. I'm trying to upload on a consistent basis, but I kind of hit a brick wall lately. But anyway, let's get to it. Alright, so we're going to start out with Warbringer, the Paragon board. So no matter what class you're running, if you care at all about your resource and you're running dungeons or the new Abattoir of Zur that's coming up, it doesn't matter if you're HoTA, it doesn't matter if you're double swing, it doesn't matter if you're upheaval, you on Warbringer go to these nodes over here that are Fury on kill, which is super important, especially when you add your resource gen to them. I mean, these alone can refill half of what you spend on your core skills. So even if you're running a build that doesn't care about max Fury, which HoTA does, so you should be getting all the max Fury ones as well, but if you're running any build, it looks like this, where you just grab the Fury on kill ones, and the only max resource, or the only max Fury ones that you grab are the ones that are in the way to your Fury on kill. The math for Fury on kill. For this video, we're going to be using my personal resource gen on my Barbarian, which is when I'm not berserking, when I'm not anything like that, is 0.49 off the rip. So if we do the math on Fury on kill, you have 4 total between the 3 nodes. So at base, you have 4 Fury you gain per kill. Multiply that by 49%, and that is 1.96, and then you add the 4 plus the 1.96, so that is 5.96 for me and my build whenever I kill anything. Alright, so now we're going to go over to the aspect, which the only one I use, and you only need for HoTA period, is Unrelenting Fury. Like, yes, I know that there's other ones like Berserking Fury, Echoing Fury, but in reality, Unrelenting Fury is where you want to be at. The only exception to this is probably Whirlwind. Sorry, Whirlwind, but it's only one cast unless you stop and go, which you're probably not going to do. But in general, for the other ones, this is how it works. So let's assume you have a max roll of Unrelenting Fury, so 30%. You multiply that 30% by 49%, which, or in my case, would be 49%. It'd be whatever your, like, in particular, resource gen is. So you multiply that, and for me, it's 0.147, okay? Take that 0.147, you add it back to the base, 30%, and that's 0.447. Okay, now you take Fury per cast, which for me is 54. You multiply that by the 0.447, so and that equals 24.138. So 24 is the amount of Fury that I get back if I at just like I'm not berserking. There's no added regen. This is what I sit at a base between my gear and stats. So there's plenty of ways to add to this resource gen that you have. So you take your base resource gen, which is 0.49 for me. I add anything that's granting it to me. So you have Rallying Cry, which adds 20% Fury regeneration, right? You have Berserking in general, which if you have Prolific Fury adds 18% resource generation. Okay, if you use Wrath of Berserker, it has I can't remember what it is, but it has its own extra resource generation, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, if Prime Wrath of the Berserker, increased movement speed and increased Fury generation by 30%. So you add all of these things together, plus any other little thing that I'm missing, which I don't think I'm missing anything, then your resource gen is even higher. So instead of, we're not going to spend all the time to go through each and every single one of them, but let's do the math on the base generation plus the berserking. We take 49% and add 18%, we're at 67%. So we take that 67% and we multiply it by 30%, and that gives us 0.201. Okay, we take that 0.201, we add 30, and that brings us to 0.501, and then we multiply Fury per cast, which is 54, multiply that by 0.501, and that brings us about 27 Fury per cast. All right, so here's where we branch off into what only applies to Hammer of the Ancients. So you can add whatever like specific fury regeneration that your particular core skill uses to this, like double swing has it where if you kill a stunned enemy you get 25 resource gen back. That has its own math and its own whatever. We're gonna go with Hammer of the Ancients because it's the most popular build. It's the one I run, it's the one most people run, and Abattoir Azure is coming up, so let's just get into this right here. We have Enhanced Hammer of the Ancients. Okay, it is 3% added resource generation per enemy hit that lasts for 5 seconds, and it stacks up to 10. So let's look at an example here. Alright, so in this clip, we're going to assume that there's no other resource gen added effects. I don't know if there is, but we're just going to go off what we see, okay? So if we take the Enhanced Hammer of the Ancients, so we hit 5 enemies, okay, that gives us 0.15, so 15%. Then we take the regen with Berserking, the math that we did earlier, 0.67, we add the 0.15, and that gives us 82%. So then we take 54, multiply it by the 82%, and it gives us 44.28 on, so we're only 10 off just from hitting them, okay? Now we add the Fury per kill, because they died in one hit, and Hammer of the Ancients, you just kill everything in one hit, for the most part. 5.96 times 5, and 5.96 is our Fury per kill, so we have 29.8, and when you add those two together, you get 74.08, and I only spend 54 Fury to cast Hammer of the Ancients. So then we're net positive 20. And then that is enough, I do believe, to max out our Limitless Rage. So then our next hit just hits hard, and it just repeats in a cycle over and over and over again. And as long as you build up correctly when you get to a boss, it's just not an issue with bosses. You just one-shot them as long as you like switch out to like your Banished Lord's Talisman. Or like, I mean, even when you hit the boss, you're not doing the Fury on kill, but the Fury per cast, that still comes back because it only cares about you hitting the boss. Or not Fury per cast, sorry. Unrelenting Berserking. You have to kill an enemy, or you have to hit a boss. So when you hit the boss, you'll get your 44.28 if you're Berserking, plus any other effects that are going on. So essentially your bar just doesn't move unless you're hitting the boss over and over and over again. Which you shouldn't be doing. You should just be near one-shotting them or one-shotting them. So essentially what all of this comes down to is you need to, if you're having issues, you need to up your resource gen. Upping your resource generation, this is pretty obvious. Just add more resource generation. Yeah, pretty much. Because once you add all of this stuff together, I mean, look at the numbers. Part of it is you need to learn to rotate correctly. So let's see, Rallying Cry gives you 20% resource generation, and it grants you Unstoppable. And don't forget, through all of this, we're using the Ball 12 Pants, and those will give you 50 plus your resource gen at the time of Fury back when you become Unstoppable. Okay. Rallying Cry gives you Unstoppable. So by the way, here's how this will work. You activate Rallying Cry. First, you gain your Fury generation. Then you get the Fury from being Unstoppable from the pants. So then you'll get your 50 plus your base regen plus another 20%. So pretty much, if you go into a dungeon, you activate Rallying Cry, more than likely you're just max out. That's how I start every dungeon. Immediately as I get in, I cast Rallying Cry, I move faster, and my bar fills up immediately. Alright, I appreciate anybody who stuck around to the end of the video. This is a fairly new thing that I'm trying out to do, so I probably messed up in a couple places. Maybe I wasn't clear in some others. If you guys have any recommendations, just let me know. If you guys want to see a particular class or a particular build, also let me know. I can do any class, any build. And I appreciate anybody who stuck around. If you guys wouldn't mind, make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. We're trying to hit 1,000 by the end of the year. I know I mentioned that at the beginning of the video, but here I am mentioning it again. Everybody have a good day.